Hey bag ladies and bag dudes, today I'm going to be talking about the Quick Ripper, my Juki Serger MO1000, Alison Glass Kaleidoscope fabrics, Fluffmonger Polar Bear sewing kits. The book review will be for Ultimate Quilt Block Collection, and we're wrapping up the dot dot dash bag sew along, and there's a great giveaway at the end. I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Social Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us for Social Sunday. I see Estelle's watching from Phoenix. Alesha, hello to you. There's Nikki. Hello Nikki, happy Sunday to you as well. Aleli from California. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I have a lot to tell you about tonight. As a friendly reminder, just about everything that I talk about during Social Sunday are things that I've purchased myself. So these are not things that I'm getting paid to talk to you about, but just cool things that I found that I'd like to share with you. And also everything that I'm scheduled to talk about, I link to in the description. So if you're interested in finding out more information about any of the notions, fabrics, books, or projects that I talk about during Social Sunday, just check that link in the description and you can find out more there. So, first, I wanted to share my lovely new t-shirt that I got. Danny's gonna move the comments off the screen so that you can see it. Bronwyn sent this to me for my birthday, and if you're a Star Trek fan, make it so. It's also sewing related, so I am a regular t-shirt wearer, so this t-shirt will get a lot of use in my house. Bronwyn, I know she's watching right now. Bronwyn from New Zealand, if you're a member of the Facebook group, you're probably familiar with seeing Bronwyn commenting and posting there. And like Beyonce, she does not require a last name, so she's just Bronwyn. So thanks again, Bronwyn, for the birthday gift. My birthday is this Wednesday, and lately I've been asking for, if you'd like to, totally optional, send me a postcard from for my birthday. I'd love to see a postcard from where you live, or just a plain old birthday card's okay if you have trouble getting hold of a postcard. And I had this lovely surprise a few days ago. My mom and dad, who live like 20 minutes away, actually they each sent me a postcard. They live together, they're not divorced. That's not why I got two postcards, but my dad sent me a postcard of the public library of the town where I grew up. It's called Des Plaines, Illinois. So that's a postcard of the library. And also my mom sent me a postcard of the first McDonald's. So Des Plaines is a suburb of Chicago, and the very first McDonald's franchise was in the town that I grew up in, Des Plaines. So this actually still exists today. They have sort of a replica that they built a few years after I was born. I was born in 1981, so the replica was built in 1985, and you can still drive by it. There's nobody serving food there, but it's pretty cool to see the first McDonald's in the town, and it was something that I was so used to seeing every day driving past it. But yeah, just a fun little tidbit. If you're interested in sending me a postcard, my address is in the link in the description. It's listed near the top of the screen, and yeah, very excited for my birthday, and thank you so much everybody who has already sent me a postcard or a birthday card. I've been collecting them in my little wooden box, my little postcard holder. I also wanted to send a shout out to Lisa. Lisa organized a couple of meetups in the California Sew Sweetness group. So they had meetups where some of the members of the group met in person. I got an email actually a couple hours before the show about Lisa from another member of the California group, and she said that Lisa had actually organized a dinner, I believe that was last month. Lisa, and I didn't know any of this till this evening, but Lisa paid for everyone's dinner, and then she organized another meetup, which I believe was this past Friday at Meisner Sewing, which is a quilt shop in California. So Lisa hosted lunch for everyone. She purchased gifts for everyone, sewing gifts. She provided lunch for the staff. So I'm not sure if you're watching, Lisa, or maybe somebody can tag Lisa in the description so that she sees this after the show. But thank you so much, Lisa, for going really above and beyond, making everybody feel comfortable at the California meetup. And it's just, again, what I love about our bag making community. There's so many people that are not only willing to step up with their time, but step up with their being generous with their comments and compliments, either in the Facebook group or perhaps in the live chat, or just connecting with someone. I get emails often from people telling me that they connected with a particular person in the Facebook group and they talk every day or they talk every so often, and that meeting that other person has really helped them kind of lift them up if they were struggling or going through a hard time. So I super love that. Like, I just want to like jump up and, you know, shout and, you know, kind of do a little dance. That makes me really happy. And again, thank you to Lisa for Lisa, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, L-I-E-N. Line. Okay, Danny's suggesting line. Again, thank you so much. All right, so let's get into talking about the notion of the week. I got an email, I think it was last week, regarding an electronic clipper used for ripping seams. And so I purchased one because I always like to go off a good recommendation, and I wanted to show it to you on the show. I tried it out earlier this morning and it worked amazing. So I'm going to jump over to the side camera and show you that electric ripper. It's called the Quick Ripper. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the packaging, and let me open it up. I took the battery out just so that I could show you how everything comes together. So inside the packaging, there's a full color, quick instructions on how to use the Quick Ripper. So it's just a really small trimmer, and if you have another trimmer that you're using for, Danny, I don't know if guys would use this for beards. It looks like a beard trimmer. Or if it's too small. Yeah, another trimmer would work in the same manner. So it actually comes with a battery already. And I'm just going to clip that in if it's going to... Oh. There we go. Sorry, I didn't push it all the way down. All right, so this is what it looks like. It comes with a small lint brush so that after you use it, if there's little threads stuck in there, you can use the lint brush to clean that out. And it also comes with a blade guard. So this blade guard just kind of snaps on the front, so when you're not using it, especially if you have kids in the house, you can keep it safe or keep it in a safe place. Let me take that off. And I've got this quilt block. It was just an extra quilt block, but I thought it would be interesting to see how it took apart the seam on the quilt block, and this would work for bags as well. So there's just a black button on the front. I know it's kind of loud, but let me get this started. So you just want to open up one of the threads on the end to get everything started. Okay, and then after, oh, looks like I backstitched my seams really well on this quilt block. There we go. Okay, let me turn this off for a second so that I can talk without that loud noise. Once you get the opening started, you're just going to have the blade flat. The top fabric you'll pull away from the bottom fabric with your hands, and then you're just going to run the blade against the threads as you come to them. So I'm going to turn this back on just so that I can show you again. All right, so as you can see, as I was moving the blade along, it just really quickly ripped out the seams. I was kind of nervous before I started using this if it would rip into my fabric at all, and as long as you're paying attention to what you're doing and you're not looking at the TV while you're trying to take the threads out, for instance, it's really hard to cut into the fabric. I purposely, when I was taking the seam apart on the other end, I purposely tried to cut into the fabric, and I had to, honestly, I had to aim this directly at the fabric for it to cut into the fabric. Other than that, it's really easy, and I was surprised at how quickly I could take all the threads out. And if you want, you can use a rubber eraser or whatever to take out those little loose threads if you like when you're finished ripping your seam. Or you can just go ahead and from the back pull out the longer thread, and it'll take out some of the stitches for you. So again, this is the Quick Ripper. I'm super excited that somebody told me about this because it was really quick at getting my threads ripped out of the seam, and there's a link in the description if you're interested in learning more about the Quick Ripper. Okay, so this being Thanksgiving week or weekend, I made a little bit of time for myself to do some things around the house. I made lunches or a dinner every day, just one meal a day, because I'm not trying to get carried away here. But I finally pulled out my serger. I purchased a new serger over the summer. I took it out of the box and then I put it in one of our cabinets here in the studio, and I did not use it. So I figured, you know, it's a really big habit of mine to get new gadgets and then not learn how to use them just because there's like a slight learning curve. So I thought, you know what, today's going to be the day. So I pulled it out and learned how to use it. It was really easy to use. I've got it here on the desk. I just wanted to show you. I've shown it in the past, but since I was going to talk about it again, I plan to pull it out. So it's got 4 threads. The 2 threads on the end go through what's called an air threader. So basically, let me pull this out. Okay, so the air threader, basically I run these 2 threads down here, one at a time, put them through this hole, hit the button, and then the air threader kind of sucks the thread through, and then it ends up basically right near where I need to have it, underneath my presser foot. So that part 1 is very easy for threading the first 2 threads. The second 2 threads, which go through the needle, if you have a Juki, or maybe if you have a sewing machine that has an automatic threader, that's what this one has. So I was very familiar with the automatic threader because it's kind of similar to what my current Juki sewing machine has. So basically you bring the thread to a certain point, and then this little tab over here threads it through the needle for you. So again, super easy, and same process for the last 2 threads over here. There's a really big sort of, I don't want to call it a cup, but container that hooks on the front that holds all of your scraps. As your knife cuts through the fabric, the scraps end up in this little bin, which is really cool. And I just liked how easy it was to thread, and the tension settings. I sewed with a few different types of fabric, and I didn't really need to do much in the way of adjusting, which with my previous serger I did. My previous serger was a Brother 1034D, which served me well for many years. But my aunt has that serger right now. Cheryl says I refer to that as the sucky uppy device. That's really funny. Danny's laughing too. I like that. Okay, so here's where it's gonna sucker up your fabric right here. So I mean your thread, so that's gonna suck that in there. I'll show more with this serger in detail how everything works on a future show. I thought it might not be the best idea to do it live tonight since I just started using it, because I'll likely get stuck and then get all hot and bothered when I'm live on camera. But I figured I'll sew a couple projects on the serger first. I promised Violet some pajama pants, and then on a future show, as I've done with my personal sewing machine in the past, we did a video for that earlier this year. I figured I'll do a video for the serger just so you can see what it's all about. But anyway, the link is in the description for the serger if you'd like to see which one I have. And then, like I said, in a future show, I'll show you more in depth how the machine works. So I have a question for you. Let me know in the comments. Do you have a serger? Let me know yes or no in the comments. Generally, people are using the serger for garment sewing. If you're not familiar with a serger, you can potentially make a whole entire garment just with the serger, and it finishes the edges for you so they look nice and neat. You can use it for knits, for denim, for quilting cotton, all sorts of different types of fabric. The reason I decided to purchase this new Juki, well, not new, but new to me Juki serger is I really loved the air threading feature of it. With my previous serger, it took a really long time, especially if the thread broke in the middle of serging. It took a long time, and I had to really think hard about how I was threading my previous serger. This one seems so much easier, especially with that air threader or the sucker upper. So anyway, I'll share some projects when I finish them, hopefully this week. The fabric that I've added to my stash this week is, as you know, I'm a fan of solids. It's a fabric by Allison Glass, and the fabric line is called Kaleidoscope. So I'm going to jump over to the side screen and show you those Kaleidoscope fabrics. It's a combination of shot cottons and chambrays. I purchased this particular bundle from I Love Fabric, but I noticed when I purchased it, there was 1 or 2 bundles left. So I've actually linked to Allison Glass's shop, so she's got these in stock. So it's a beautiful rainbow bundle, and the really cool thing about having the shot cottons and chambrays is that the yarn that composes the threads, the fabric, is 2 different colors. And let me pick one out where you can see very clearly on camera. So as you can see, I think you can see it on the camera, it's basically 2 different colors. So this one's got sort of a navy blue mixed with white, which makes it have a lot of texture while still being a solid. And it's the same case for a lot of the other colors as well. I'm not sure if this translates well on the camera, but this is sort of an aqua with white yarn in it. So again, I'm a huge fan of rainbows. There's lots of pretty colors to work with, and I just bought a fat 1/8 bundle because I wasn't quite sure what project that I was going to use the bundle for. But as I was sitting here waiting for the show to start, I pulled out a pattern that I bought recently, which is called Starstorm Quilts. It's designed by Victoria Finley Wolf. And I thought that I'd perhaps do sort of a rainbow layout for this, like an RGB. So I'd start in the center with pinks and reds, and then I do the orange, yellow, blue, green, violets radiating out. And since there's a few colors in each color of the rainbow, for example, there's several blues, I thought each stripe I'd do several different colors of blue or what have you. So really excited that I got this bundle. The colors are really pretty. I like the different textures. And again, this is Kaleidoscope, designed by Allison Glass. All right, Danny's favorite part of our Sunday show. Let us know in the comments if you're a bag lady or bag dude. Go ahead and type that in the comments right now. I love seeing, I can see Danny's computer from where I'm sitting, and whenever we ask for this, I love seeing all the bag ladies and bag dudes come down through the comments. So thank you so much for doing that. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, super love the supportive bag making community. Everyone is so kind. I don't know if I'm just not looking hard enough, but I really never see trolls come through on the live show comments or in the Facebook group. Everyone is so kind and supportive. So thank you so much for being part of the shows and being part of the community. Another thing that I added to my stash this week, Danny's going to put two photographs on the screen first. I purchased this polar bear kit, which you'll see in a second. These are some little tiny ornaments. Oops. There we go. There's the polar bear. So I purchased this polar bear kit. They're wearing really cute winter scarves. And this second picture is these tiny little ornaments, little stuffed animal patterns that you can make. Those are both free patterns. So the patterns for the ornaments or the patterns for the polar bear. I want to show you the supply kit that I purchased because it's very high quality, and I was really excited to make the polar bears with Violet. Let me open this up upside down so you don't see my house address on the front. But I purchased the kit because I just like to get right to sewing. So inside the supply kit is the pattern instructions. Some of the Fluffmonger patterns also come with videos, but it contains all the supplies that you need to make the project. So these are actually hand-dyed organic fabrics. So this is the fabric needed to make the large polar bear. Here's the fabric needed to make the small polar bear, and then it also comes with organic threads. And I ordered the kit with the extras. So besides the organic threads on these beautiful wooden spools, it also comes with the glass eyes to make both projects, a dowel needle to sew everything together, and then a hemostat, which is great for turning little pieces, especially for plush or stuffed animals, right side out. So I thought maybe Violet and I could make this kit together. I'd make the large polar bear, she'd make the small one, and this fabric is so soft. So I can't wait to make these. Maybe we'll make them this week. Who knows? But anyway, this is a kit, and the patterns are free for those projects that I showed on the screen, and you can just check the link in the description to take you to the Fluffmonger website. All right, last night we were playing some board games. Board games are huge in my family. I'm a huge fan of them, so I pulled out a few of our board games just so that you can see what kinds of games that we're playing. So I'm going to start off with two of William's kind of recent favorites. So William really loves this game. It's called Scrambled States of America. So it kind of teaches kids where, if you live in the United States, where the different states are located, what states they're next to, what the states look like. Everyone starts out with a map of the United States and cards, and it's just a fun way to get to know the states without being too heavy on the information. It's not a frustrating game. Kids don't necessarily need to know where all the states are located previously, but it just helps them to get to know where they are. And Danny even plays this game with us, and it's a lot of fun. Monopoly, for me personally, Monopoly is not my favorite game. I feel like it takes forever to get through the game, but we recently got this Monopoly Cheaters Edition, which is a lot more fun, and it doesn't seem to take forever like the regular Monopoly game takes. This is what it looks like. We found a used copy on Amazon, I believe it was. And the whole rhyme or reason behind the Monopoly Cheaters version is that it's the Monopoly game, but they're special cheater cards, and you can have 5 cards in play at the same time, the cheater cards, I mean. So for instance, there's rewards if you stealthily steal money from another player. You can accidentally, well, not accidentally, purposely charge them more for rent, and if you're not caught, there's incentives for that. So the whole game is based around good things happening for the cheaters out there. So we played that game last night also, Monopoly Cheaters Edition, lots of fun. This is Violet's current favorite. She got it for her birthday, and it's called Codename. So the whole deal with the code names is that there's 25 cards on the board at one time. There's teams of 2, and each teammate gives their team member a clue to guess one of the cards on the board. So for instance, if you need your teammate to guess the word horse, which would be on the board, you would give them a clue of animal 1. And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's hard because a lot of the cards out of the 25 might be similar. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun for all ages, I would say, as long as a child could read and understand words on the cards, they'd be able to play this game. A favorite as far as learning games is Timeline, and we have several of these, and we actually have one in the car because we took it to the restaurant the other day. I am the parent that takes card games or small games to restaurants so that when we're waiting for food or waiting for the check, we pull out card games and play a little bit, and it keeps everyone happy. The Timeline games are really cool. Each player starts with 4 cards, and you sort of build on a timeline in the middle of the board. So for instance, this particular version of Timeline is called Inventions. So there's all sorts of inventions ranked by date, and so you have to put them in date order in the middle of the table, which sounds easy, but it's actually not. So for instance, some of the inventions are the invention of the corkscrew, the invention of the cannon, the invention of the phonograph, the theory of general relativity. So all sorts of inventions, and you have to know when they were invented and put them in date order on the table. So not necessarily the most easy thing, but it really is fun learning about new facts. There's another version called Historical Events, and so for example, some of the cards are the end of World War I, let's see, the start of the Black Death, so things like that. So I really enjoy learning about history. I always had fun in history class, so these Timeline games kind of relate to history, historical facts, and inventions. So I'm going to show you 2 more games that we like to play. We have a whole cupboard with lots of games, and Danny's always on my back. Why are we getting another game? Well, I just can't, I can't pass by a good game. The Magic Labyrinth is one we recently got. This was actually, I found this on clearance at Target, and it had a sticker on the front that the game had won an award, and it's a really fun game dealing with magnets. And how would you describe this game, Danny, with the walls? Tricky. It is tricky, but it's fun for all ages. So that's another game. Not a lot of thinking involved with that one. And this is one of our all-time favorites. It's called Telestrations. Just think of the game Telephone, where you whisper words in another person's ear and the word gets all discombobulated by the time it gets to the end of the line. This game is like that, except with drawing. So as you can imagine, we've played this game many times, and it's always one of those games where everyone's sort of laughing so hard that they're crying. Well, this is the game Telestration. So let me know what your favorite game is. Let me know in the comments, because I'm always interested in picking up more games. Some of my favorite games are actually vintage games that I've been able to find at a thrift store. So always on the lookout for new games. Hopefully maybe you enjoyed 1 or 2 of the recommendations that I showed you in some of our board games, and maybe you can pick something up fun that you can play at your next holiday dinner. All right. As I mentioned earlier, this Wednesday is my birthday, and I asked if we could go as a family to a restaurant in Chicago. I don't eat there very often, but it's called Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder Company. So we live in Chicago, but close to O'Hare Airport, so we're not near downtown, but this restaurant is downtown. And there's a few things about this restaurant that make it so that I don't eat there often. So first of all, they don't take reservations, which makes it difficult, especially for kids. it's a really small restaurant, so in light of them not taking reservations, there's often a long wait. They don't open till 4 o'clock, as far as I can recall, 4 o'clock in the evening. Another thing about the restaurant is that they only take cash, so they don't take credit cards, just cash only, which has worked out in my favor in the past because a couple years ago I had some friends in town and I wanted to meet them for dinner, but I wanted to pay, and so I purposely chose this restaurant so that by the time the bill came and they realized that the restaurant only took cash, they did not have cash on them, and so I was able to pay the bill like I wanted to. Another fun fact about this restaurant, the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder Company, is that the gentleman, there's an older gentleman that is the host that seats everyone at their tables, and usually there's a wait for tables, and it's funny because in the past when I've gone up to the host, usually they ask for your name, how many are in your party. This guy only wants to know how many people are in your party. He doesn't need to know your name. Somehow he remembers everyone's face, what they look like, and what order that they reserved a table in. And so he'll come out and find you based on what you look like. So I thought that's pretty cool. He must have an amazing memory. The reason that I like this place is it's special because here in Chicago we have tons of different types of pizza, deep dish pizza, stuffed pizza. I never thought this was funny until I had a friend in Florida tell me that we have some weird pizza in Chicago because we have sauce on the top, and that never occurred to me as being weird. But here in Chicago, if you've never had a Chicago stuffed pizza, they start with the crust on the bottom, lots of cheese, like a couple inches layer of cheese, another layer of crust, and then sauce on the top. So that's stuffed pizza. And then of course, if there's any toppings like mushrooms or anything, spinach, that goes in the middle too. The special thing about the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder Company is that they make their pizzas in a bowl. So they start out with a regular sized bowl. The cheese goes inside. Any toppings like mushrooms, they put whole mushrooms in there. The sauce, and then they follow it up with the crust on top over the bowl. So the crust kind of covers the bowl and it overlaps on the side. So they cook it in the bowl. When they bring the pizza to you, the waiter or waitress kind of loosens up the side and then they turn it upside down on a plate. So it's virtually a stuffed pizza made in a bowl. So it's really cool. I know it's probably hard to visualize, so I found a video on YouTube actually of like a 9-minute clip about this restaurant, how they make those little pizzas that I described to you, what the restaurant looks like. If you're interested, if you have any free time later, if you want to check out that link, if you're ever in Chicago, I highly recommend that restaurant. However, get there as early as possible because like I mentioned, they don't take reservations. So we're planning on going there right after school on Wednesday, which is my birthday. School ends at 3. I figure by the time we get there, it'll be close to 4 o'clock. So hopefully there won't be much of a wait, and hopefully we can get seated quickly. And I can't wait to have that pizza. And the other thing that I remember about that restaurant is they give you chocolates at the end, not mints, but they're sort of honeycombs covered in chocolate. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So that will be a yummy birthday dinner, and I'm not sure if William will quite like those pizzas, but I'm sure we can find something else for William on the menu. He's a very picky eater. My book review for this week is for the Ultimate Quilt Block Collection. It's a huge book with tons of quilt blocks. I'm going to jump over to the side camera and show you the blocks that are included in the book. Okay, so this is what the book looks like. Again, Ultimate Quilt Block Collection by Lynn Goldsworthy. And she's using lots of modern fabrics in her quilt blocks, and it's very straightforward. The quilt block comes with illustrations on how to make it, all the cuts of fabric you'll need, and the piecing instructions. Some of these are also foundation paper piece, and some are traditionally pieced. So there's tons of quilt blocks in here. I'm just going to flip through and show you a few of them. I think this is really useful to have, especially if you're making a sampler quilt, and there's some examples of such quilts in the back of the book, which I'll show you. And that was a foundation paper piece one that I just passed by. This one I'm really into. I'm really looking forward to make this one. It's called Sweet Sunshine. And again, this one's foundation paper piece, so you'll be using paper to stitch onto. Templates are included for the blocks that require templates. Here's another of my favorites, a foundation paper piece star. And it's a good mix. I'm not sure if it's half and half foundation paper piece and traditional piece, but I kind of like those odds. I like that mixture. Dresden flower. All right, so I'm not going to show you every single block because we'd be here for a little bit, but let me flip to the back and show you, as you saw, the templates were in the back of the book. And there's some ideas for finishing. So this one's beautiful. I can even see this one as a Christmas quilt. And you can make the blocks in prints as well, as suggested in the book. I think I missed the other sampler quilt. Let me see if I could find that one. Or you could just use that layout like on the front cover. So anyway, there's tons of blocks. There's over 60 blocks in this book. Again, it's called Ultimate Quilt Block Collection by Lynn Goldsworthy, and the link is in the description in case you're interested in picking that book up. So I'd like to invite you, if you enjoy our live shows, if you enjoy our bag making or tutorial videos, if you could go ahead and hit the share button if you're watching on Facebook. Share this video with your other sewing friends. Regardless, either if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, the like button helps us out so much, and the like button looks like a picture of a thumbs up icon. So we really appreciate any likes and shares, and they really help us out a lot. YouTube and Facebook look very kindly on videos that have likes and shares, and they consider sharing those videos with other people that may not have seen them before but have similar interests. So somebody who's watching other sewing videos, they may suggest our videos to that person, and your likes and shares really help us out along with that mission of bringing more bag ladies and bag dudes into the fold. So thank you for doing that. All right, so now we're going to check in with Michelle Graham and Bronwyn, who co-hosted the Bag Sew Along. So Danny's going to pop Michelle and Bronwyn up on our screen. Hey, Michelle and Bronwyn.
Hello. Hey.
Thank you for joining me for Sewcial Sunday. So the Bag Sew Along just wrapped up. One at a time. We'll start with Michelle. What are your thoughts on the sew along? What do you feel people got out of it? And what was your personal opinion about how it went?
Well, I know myself, I enjoy doing the sew-alongs because I love the sense of community that it builds. Not that there's already not a big sense of community, but I feel that it really makes everybody chat a little bit more. It gets everybody sort of making new friends. It's nice to keep everybody at the same pace. Nobody feels like they're, you know, not falling behind, but that we're all doing the same thing at the same time. It builds up excitement. I don't know, I just really enjoy them. I don't know what else to say that I haven't said before or said in the group when I've commented. I sound like a broken record all the time, but I just really like how it makes everybody feel like we're a bigger community and we're all doing the same thing at the same time and we're all having fun together. I think it just, and the sense of accomplishing something at the end of it, this beautiful bag, you know, and I love that everybody's learning new tricks and techniques that they can apply in other bags that they make later on too, you know, and I like that a lot of the new sewers to the group are joining in, you know, when they might have been scared to try making a bag on their own. They've got Bronwyn and I helping them along the way, so, you know, giving them that little extra push, and the other members in the group too also helping out and giving them that push to finish their bag.
And what about you, Bronwyn? What did you like about the sew along? And I know you two usually throw extra tidbits, extra things that they can try or add to their bag, so how did you think it went this time?
Yeah, I quite like the fact that the reason we wanted to do this one is because it's a smaller, a quicker bag than the Tudor was. But it also played on some techniques that people who, if they had made their first bag with the Tudor, they got to practice those techniques again on this bag. So it was another recess zipper, but slightly different. So they could make, the Tudor was a like not fully enclosed recess zipper. This one was a fully enclosed zipper. But what they could do if they wanted to was do the same recess zipper that they'd done on the Tudor, because it was able to be done on this one as well. And also if they wanted to do a different zipper panel, which is what I did on mine. So if they wanted to do it slightly differently at the front, there was that option too.
Okay, so we have a few photographs to show from the group. These are not winners. Michelle and Bronwyn just chose a variety of different styles and a variety of different fabrics used. And so we're going to pop some of those photographs on the screen, and then we have some winners to announce after that. So this is made by Helena. I love that the side panel was made in a different fabric than the feature fabric. Here's a really cool Nightmare Before Christmas print. This one was made for a ballet bag, and I love that little bling on the zipper and on the second zipper as well. Joanne made hers in a plaid, and it was quilted, and I love that diagonal quilting. Peter, I hope I pronounced that correctly, made actually 2 of them. Dawn made sort of a lovely Christmas themed bag with a deer and the fawn on the front. Here's 2 made by Kelly. Leah made one with sort of Mickeys and combined with quilting. Isabel made hers with those front zippers on the curves, and then Beck made hers in an Allison glass fabric. Patty added some machine embroidery to the front of her dash bag, and Connie added some cork to the sides and the bottom curved accents on hers as well. All right, so great choices, ladies, and we're actually going to draw 3 winners live. So you have your number generators ready. Danny, you want to pick numbers for me, 3 numbers? How many entries do we have in total?
So there was 160.
Okay, 160 finished bags. So I hope if you didn't have time to participate in the dash bag sew along, I have a link in the description, and you can see all of the 160 finished bags, what their bags look like, and hopefully you can get inspiration for making your own dash bag. So Danny's going to pull up the random number generator. 160, yep.
Yeah, there was 160 posted in the outline.
And
each first one is 110.
Okay, the first winner is number 110. And each winner will win an $80 gift certificate to be used at sewsweetness.com. So you can either use that on the Minikins, cork fabric, whatever you choose.
Next
so
one
drum roll, Bronwyn. You going to do your drum roll? So first winner is Angie Swan.
Angie Swan, congratulations, Andy. All right, the next winner is number 63.
So this one is Ricky Newell. Ricky Newell Shinchester.
Congratulations, Ricky. Yay. All right,
sorry if I'm pronunciating it wrong.
You're fine. Okay, one more, Danny. That's the winner?
Oh.
That's it. 1 through 60.
All right, number 160 is the third winner.
And that is Natalie Lansden Kutach.
What was that, Natalie?
Natalie Lansden Kutach.
Natalie Lansden. And then Kutach.
Congratulations, Natalie. So everyone deserves a big hand for participating in the sew along. I know it's scary sometimes trying something that's out of your comfort zone. So if that was the case for you, big standing ovation to you. Big standing ovation to everyone that finished. And thank you both, Michelle and Bronwyn, for co-hosting that sew along. And what do you think about doing another one in future? Do you have any plans already going, or?
Should we say anything, Bronwyn?
Yeah, we do, but we think we're going to take a little bit of a break.
Of course.
So there is going to be another one in the new year, but it's not going to be the 1st of January. So, you know, people, sew on your own. No. There will be another one. It's not going to be yet. We've both got some stuff coming up, so we're just gonna you know, we both tested the Minikins. We're just a little bit exhausted with Christmas sewing and the 2 sew-alongs and the Secret Santa sewing that we just probably need a bit of a break over Christmas.
Excellent.
Should we announce what we're going to do, though, Bronwyn?
Yes, okay.
Do you want me to do a side scroll? Are we ready? Oh wait. Yeah. You want me to do it again?
Yeah.
Oh. Don't.
And one of the other
suspense
reasons
is
we're
over.
holding on is the fabric I want to use has not been released yet. So we have to wait.
Oh, you're so selfish, Bronwyn.
I know. They don't call me Bronwyn the selfish for nothing.
I thought you were
I,
Bronwyn the giver.
Yeah.
This is true. Although while I have got the talking stick, I just wanted to say a couple of things that I noticed come through. That T-shirt is purchased from Tea Republic, T-E-E. So people were asking where that T-shirt was from. It's from Tea Republic. No, Charlie, I am not in the bath. I'm not always in there. And thirdly, yes, I did have jury service today, but they rejected me, so hence I am here.
It's because they know you're a troublemaker.
So close. But no.
That's
All
better.
right.
We get to have you all to ourselves instead.
All
You're
right.
welcome.
Worked out for us.
Not going to jury duty going to jury duty, but not being chosen worked out in our favor, I suppose. So thank you again so much, both of you, for your hard work in organizing both of the sew-alongs. Looking forward to in the new year, but not January 1st, the Sublime Bag sew-along, and
And let
thank
us
you for
say,
being
not
on the
January
show.
at all.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
not
took my
January at
headset out.
all.
Not
Not
Yeah.
January at
We should
all.
make that
Not
clear.
January at all. So
Not at all.
early spring, we'll say. How about
Yes.
that? All right.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, okay, I don't know what month that is. Because that's
All right.
different.
Oh yeah, that's right. New Zealand has
March, April, May.
yes. All right, thank
I
you,
don't know.
ladies. Have a good night. Thank you for joining me on the show. I really appreciate it. All right, so lots of fun for that dash bag sew along. If the 3 winners could please email me so I can get you your gift certificates that were your prizes. Again, big congratulations to you and to all that participated. I'm going to answer some live questions in just a minute. So if you have a question for me about a sewing notion or tool, bag making related questions, feel free to type your question in the comments right now. I'll answer as many as I can live. Before I get to the questions, I wanted to announce the winners from last week's giveaway. I actually had 4 giveaways last week of Tula Pink fabrics and Orifil thread bundles. So I wanted to announce the 4 winners. I've contacted the 4 winners on social media, but I also wanted to announce them live on the show. So winner number 1 was Nancy Lovato. Congratulations to you, Nancy. Winner number 2 was Evelyn Fabry. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Congratulations, Evelyn. Winner number 3 was Lance Ingram. Congratulations, Lance. And winner number 4 was Sanjita Dudia. So congratulations, Sanjita. Congratulations to the 4 winners. And just go ahead and drop me a line so I can have your address and mail out your prize. Mary says, did you say the Sublime Bag? It looks like the Sublime Bag was what was chosen for the next sew along in the Facebook group. Michelle and Bronwyn will be co-hosting that. It won't be in January. It sounds like they're saying early spring, at least as far as United States or Canadian seasons go. Armina says, do you have any favorite zipper pull ideas? So I really love the zipper pulls, and I've got a lot in my stash from Trina Peterson on Etsy. And if you just Google Trina Peterson Etsy, it'll take you to her shop. She's got lots of different Harry Potter pulls. I've got unicorn pulls that I've purchased from her. Sewing related, I think I have sewing machine and spool and thread pulls. So she's actually, I noticed on social media that she has even more new pulls in. So if you want to check that, again, it's Trina Peterson on Etsy. Linda says, how difficult is the Sublime Bag to sew? It's definitely an intermediate sewing pattern. We do have a video that we put out for the Sublime Bag. I think it was last year. I've got it behind me so that I can show you what it looks like if you're interested. So that's the Sublime Bag. I don't know. It's got bottom panel and it's got just front and back fabrics. The back does not have the zippers like the front does. But I just thought the front zippers were a really cool and interesting feature that I wanted to add to the bag while I was designing it. Sarah, and Sarah's birthday is tomorrow, so happy early birthday to you, Sarah. Sarah says, don't know enough to buy a serger, but have been curious for a long time. How do you know how many cones you need? I've seen them with more cones too. So I've just got 4 cones on my serger. I just use the 4 threads when I'm serging for garments, but there's other different finishes that you can use. All that's in the manual, but it's a little, at this point, a little over my head since I'm not making garments several times a month. I'm just using my 4 threads, and I leave everything, try to leave all my settings the same if I possibly can. I don't know if you saw when I was showing my machine, but I left myself a little note because when I'm using my regular sewing machine, I'm generally using the same needle, so I didn't want to forget to change out my needles. I wrote myself a note, stretch needle for stretch fabric, so that I don't forget to change my needle in case I'm switching from quilting cotton to jersey or another knit fabric, because a different needle type is used for that. Oops, I missed Dee Dee's question. Danny, what was it? It went off the screen really quick.
I don't know. You gotta talk faster.
Okay. Danny says I should talk faster.
You ever use a serger for sewing a purse?
Okay. Dee Dee had a question. Do I ever use a serger for sewing a purse? You could actually use your serger for attaching fabric to foam interfacing, or if you're using any other sew-in interfacing, that would be great. Another nice thing about using the serger to attach your fabric to the foam, if you're using it as a sew-in, is that the serger threads, because they're a little bit on the wide side, they kind of compress the foam, which makes the edge really nice and flat for you to sew and sew into the seams of your bag. The only reason I don't use my serger for that is that I don't have enough space in my sewing room to have multiple machines set up. If I did, I'd definitely use my serger for attaching my fabric to the foam, but unfortunately I have to, when I'm finished using my serger, I have to put it away in the cabinet. There's just not enough space in this little house over here. Kathy says, do you have woven Sew Sweetness labels that can be sewn into a bag? I do not currently. Actually don't even use them for myself, but if you're looking for woven labels, one of the companies that I can recommend is called Dutch Label Company, and that's Dutch Label Company with a CO for abbreviation for company. I believe I saw several members of the Sew Sweetness group order labels, and there's different types that you can make, so they can be very elaborate with your logo, they can just be with 1 or 2 words. They have other labels for different sizes, like if you're making garments, if you need different size labels. So all of that available on Dutch Label Company. Connie says, will you be able to get 8-inch bag hardware in gold for the Epicure? I have people wanting me to make these with gold. Unfortunately, the supplier that I ordered from only had the 3 colors, which are the 3 that we stock in the store, which are rose gold, nickel, which looks like silver, and gunmetal. I was looking for the gold ones. I just couldn't find them at a reasonable price. So currently we don't have them, but I'll remain on the lookout in case they pop up. Beth says, Sarah, have you ever thought of putting difficulty ratings on your patterns to help those of us who are still new to bag making? That's a great question. I've thought about this a lot in the past, and the reason that I decided to steer away from labeling my patterns either beginner, intermediate, or advanced is because now, and this is especially true now with the videos, I was always afraid of labeling the patterns because I didn't want to keep people away or make them scared to try a pattern, which they might possibly be able to make no matter what the skill level, especially with the help of a video. So if I had a beginner or confident beginner, I didn't want to steer them clear from making, say, the Sublime bag or the Cumberland backpack if they really wanted to make it because they felt like they were a beginner and not intermediate level. I don't know if that's the right choice or not, but that's just in my heart. I felt that I wanted people to shoot for the stars, and so that's why way back when I decided not to label my patterns with skill levels. But I'm always happy to help you if you need a little guidance in choosing a pattern, if you're looking to only work certain skills into your bag, like if you're not ready to get to a zipper yet. I'm always happy to make recommendations via email if you need a little bit of direction and guidance in choosing a pattern. Mary says, our anniversary is tomorrow, 53 wonderful years. Congratulations to you and your husband, Mary. That's a huge milestone, and it must feel great, and I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. Angel says, is there a tip you can give about adjusting the tension on your serger that keeps you from pulling your hair out? So I am not a genius at the serger. However, my Juki serger came with a really great video on adjusting tension, and also the website Pattern Review is also a great resource in helping with sergers and tensions. I've visited their message boards many times in the past when getting help on adjusting the tension on my serger, but I had a little DVD that came with my Juki that showed how to thread my machine and how to work with different projects, and part of the DVD that I got with my sewing machine was how to adjust when different things happen. So sort of a troubleshooting section that was contained on the DVD. So they showed different pieces of fabric, how the loops looked on the fabric, and if your loops looked the same, how to fix that on the serger. So they showed which dials to fix on the tension. So I don't have any immediate troubleshooting tips for you. I'm sure as I work with my serger more, because it's been a while since I used one and this is a newer one to me. When we make that serger video showing my Juki serger, I will definitely go through some troubleshooting tips as far as what to do if your fabric looks like this or like this, what different dials to fix on your tension. All right, Danny's calling that all on the questions. So if I didn't get to your question live, we'll be back on Tuesday answering more questions. Danny will be on the show this week. If you missed it, we had a really great chat last Tuesday with Dr. Palmer, and that's on my YouTube channel. I hope you'll check that out. It's dealing with mental issues, stress, troubleshooting tips. So if you're experiencing stress, especially around the holidays, some resources, things you can do to bring some calmness to your life. And there's also, we recognize more serious mental issues, and Dr. Palmer also touched on briefly on some of those issues as well. So I hope you'll check that out in case you missed it. So let's get over to the giveaway for tonight. The giveaway prize is an $80 gift certificate to my shop. So one randomly drawn winner at the end of the day this Saturday will be the winner of an $80 gift certificate to my shop. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is answer in the comments either on Facebook or YouTube. Answer my question. If you could meet any celebrity, who would it be? So just let me know in the questions, in the comments. Maybe it's Brad Pitt. I don't know. I'm blanking on who I would like to meet. Maybe a famous artist. Let me know in the comments. So I hope you had a great time. I certainly did. Thank you for joining me for Sewcial Sunday. Have a great week and happy sewing. Bye, everybody.